I'm Liv.
And I'm Grace.
And together we are
Liv and Grace Read Books. Seeing as it is the end of November, we are here to do our November wrap up.
In the month of November, I read 2 books.
And I read 5 books. So we'll go into those books and let you know a bit about them.
I only read 2 books because I had exams at the start of November, and then I decided to pick up a really, really thick book. Like, it's 600 pages long. 530 pages long. So I kind of regret that a little bit, but that's okay because it was good.
I managed to read 5 on the edge of 6 books this month because if you don't know, I actually am homeschooled, so I do have a lot of time compared to Olivia here, who actually does go to school.
Yeah, sure do.
So the first book that I read in November was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I did write a review on this on Goodreads, so if you'd like to check that out, we will link it below. It was a very, very strong start to the Throne of Glass series, and I can't really say any more than the fact that I loved it so much. It's one of my favourite series in the making, and it has been said to be a 6-book series, and there's only 4 out at the moment, so I'm really excited to catch up with everyone and be there when the next ones are released.
The first book I read in November was All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. It was a really good book. I'm going to do a book talk on it, but I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and it was pretty long, so it's pretty hectic. But yeah, it was good. It was interesting, and I really like World War II stories, so...
The second book that I read in November is ILLUMINAE by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which they actually are from Melbourne, so it was really exciting to pick up a book written by people from our own hometown. This was such an exciting book, and I can't explain it to you what it's about. It's so hard to explain. It's basically set really far into the future in 2575, so a long time from now, and it's a very intergalactic space story about terrorism and love and just all this exciting stuff in this book, and it is very original. I've never read a book like it. It's set in, instead of normal chapters and from people's point of views, it's set in messages and surveillance videos and interviews and just all these different types of ways of getting to know the characters in the storyline. And it is a bit of a big book, but there's not many words to a page when you think of it overall, so it was a pretty quick read for me, but I highly recommend picking this up. I give it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and you can see my little review I posted about it. We'll also link that in the description box. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. The second one comes out next year, I'm pretty sure, so very anticipating that one.
Yes.
The third book that I read in November was 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. If you have seen our previous videos or my 6 of Crows review, you will know that I love this book. It was so good. I cried multiple times. I laughed, I smiled so much. It was just the best story, and it's, I can't even explain my love for it.
Look at this limited edition. Like,
it's very beautiful limited edition pages, beautiful cover. What more could you want in a book, guys?
Can I just say that when I was watching Christine's video when she was doing a haul and she was talking about how it was a crow, and I didn't even realise that it actually was a crow. So
it is so obviously a crow. Like,
shout out to Christine for pointing that out. So
I saw that the first time I picked it up. I was like, oh, that's cool, it's a crow.
No, I thought it was just a wing.
Yeah. Basically, this book is about 6 teenage thugs, thieves, rebels basically in this town, and they're going on a mission, this impossible heist that they've been set. They take place in the heist to either gain their freedom or buy it back for them. It's such an original novel. It was very intriguing and enthralling. I loved every single page. From the beginning to the end, character development was so fantastic. Like, you keep learning about the characters even in the last few chapters, and it's set from all of their point of views. So it does change all of the time, and you find out the relationships between each of them, and I loved it so much. 5 out of 5.
The second book I read in November, and I'm still reading it, but I'm going to finish it by tomorrow, which is the last day, is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas.
Yay!
I through this book and I am loving it so much. It is so good, and I'm probably going to be up until 3 AM tonight reading it. So
if you have read Throne of Glass, please let us know if you are either Team Kale or Team Dorian, because this is such a huge debate between us.
I know.
I am Team Kale, obviously, because Kale is the better choice of man.
I'm on the fence, but probably have to decide right now, but I can't.
Tessa, if you are watching this, you have to help me. Tessa and I are very, very much on Team Kale.
Well, you know, I'm kind of like a Dorian right now, but don't make that Team Dorian. I'm not.
She's Team Dorian.
I'm not
definitely.
Team Dorian.
Someone please make that happen. Please write a fanfiction of Dorian and Kale together. The fourth book that I read in November was obviously Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. I won't say anything about this book as it might lead to spoilers to the first one. So good. Again, I loved it so much. It's definitely such a strong sequel to the first book. I can't even imagine what's going to happen in the next two. I'm so excited to read them. My babies. Such a perfect story. I just love Sarah J Maas with all my heart. If you have seen Rain, the CW TV series, please let me know if you think of the characters looking like them from Rain, because I picture Bash as Kale and Francis as Dorian. Like, it's exactly the same in my mind, and it's very similar to Rain, and I love it so much. So reading these was just like an in-depth version of Rain, and I love it so much. 5 out of 5 stars.
Does anyone else think or picture Nehemia? Does anyone else think Nehemia looks like FKA Twigs?
Yes.
As soon as I read her, I was like, oh, it looks like FKA Twigs, and then Grace was just like, yeah, I imagined her FKA Twigs.
I was like, oh my god.
What?
The next book that I read in November is Soundless by Rochelle Mead. I did film a discussion video on this. You can find that on our YouTube channel. I will link it either here on this book or below. I am very indecisive about this. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Not because I didn't enjoy it, like I did enjoy it, and it was very interesting as it is a Chinese folklore book. And it was very original. I've never read a book like it. It is a standalone fantasy which appealed to me so much, but there were just some parts that didn't really interest me or that I wasn't really fond of. But yeah, you can see that in my discussion video. And the last book that I have read / am reading is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. If you saw our first video, I did say I was going to get to it next year, but I was just too overwhelmed. I needed to read it now. I haven't seen a TV series yet, so I'm going to watch it after Christmas. So in that case, I needed to read it. It is about 800 pages, but on my Kindle, which I am reading it on, is about 950 pages. So it is such a long book. I have been reading for non-stop for about 4 days, and I'm about nearly 70% of the way through. So it's taken me a while, but I love it so much. It is one of my favorite books of the year, probably one of my favorite books ever. It isn't YA, which did kind of put me off reading it for a while. Just the history, the storyline is just all so intriguing, and the characters, I love the characters. And I love it. I probably should finish that before the end of November, being tomorrow, or maybe not, but I did start it this month. I would highly recommend reading it. I'll put a photo right here. Beautiful. There we go. If you like this video, like and subscribe, all that funky jazz.
And our Goodreads and Grace's Instagram and Grace's Tumblr are all below. And now that I got a new Kindle, and it links to Goodreads.
I know. If you guys have a Kindle Touch, I don't know about you, but recently I found that you can go on Google and stuff on here. And you can like look up things and look up images, and I was on it the other day looking up pictures of Jamie from Outlander, because why wouldn't you? He's a babe. And I didn't even know that existed. So if you have a Kindle, please let me know if there's any other features that you know of, because I'm still learning things about this beautiful piece of technology, and I've had it for nearly a year. Alright guys, so our camera just went flat, so we are filming this on my computer. So hope you guys have a great week. We will see you in our next video. Goodbye! Bye!